With us now, Lee Carter, president partner, Lansky and Partners, Morgan Harper, Democratic strategist, former U.S. candidate for Senate in the state of Ohio, the Buckeye State. Nice to see both of you ladies. Appreciate it. Lee, is abortion and anything involving women, reproductive rights, IVF, contraception, a little bit like the border for Democrats, that if they are talking about it, they are losing?
It's a really important issue in a certain set of voters, and I think that's why it keeps coming up. There are a number of women who say the primary reason they're going to go to the polls is to protect reproductive freedoms. And there's a whole generation of women that's been taught if you don't vote for Democrats, you're going to lose your rights and you're going to lose your freedoms. And so I think that's why they're talking about it so much, and I think it's the only issue that Democrats are really winning on. So I can understand why they're saying it over and over again, but I don't think it's the only issue that's important to female voters. And I think that that's a bigger issue for Democrats as well.
Morgan, this from our friend Batya Ungar-Sargon: gender divide is a class divide. Harris appeals to men, in other words, are actually designed to reassure college-educated women that the Democratic Party exists to advance their interests. The American dream comes from a college education. Abortions will be legal up to the 9th month. The future is female. It turns out liberal women still want their men donning camo so long as they vote for the party that shipped their jobs overseas to China. They want men to support their side of the culture war and vote against their economic interests. What does Kamala Harris and Democrats have to offer to men other than we are going to protect a woman's right to choose?
Well, I think it's both something to offer to men and then also, and this is kind of building off the other panelist's point, a different type of woman. I do think there's no mistaking that abortion rights are a very big motivating factor for a lot of women in the United States right now, and it's pushing them to move towards Democrats. But it is also the case that for a lot of working class people overall, men and women, particularly those that are in the middle to lower middle class, economic issues are key. And so, I think that Vice President Harris, especially in these final weeks of the campaign, yes, needs to continue to gin up the base that is quite secure of women. If they know that she's running and that she is a Democrat and that she is on the side of reproductive freedom, they are likely to support her. But that cannot be at the neglect of continuing to hammer home the economic messages that are going to be, for example, standing up to large corporations, speaking to the economic uncertainty that a lot of Americans feel, for example, about healthcare costs and what her administration plans to do about it.
Lee, I think about this just in terms of strategy. And we talk often about whether Democrats are paying high enough a price, whether they're going far enough to the center to attract voters, and whether they're willing to tell their base to shove it on all sorts of issues, immigration being one of them, to try and appeal to the center. Are Republicans, is Donald Trump doing enough to tell the far extreme of the Republican Party on abortion to shove it and move to the center to attract suburban white women or to save suburban white women?
He's trying pretty hard to do that. I think that's why he's focusing so much on IVF. I think that's why he had Melania out there. I don't think he had Melania, but Melania was out there talking about how she was, in fact, pro-choice. Donald Trump has often said that he thinks this is a losing issue for Republicans, and this is not something that he necessarily agrees with. He does say it should be up to the states' rights. I think when he had one of his podcast interviews, they asked him a question about his son being at NYU, and they said, do you think this was the right time, really, to have Roe versus Wade overturned? And he was like, yeah, you're kind of right. And it humanized it. It sort of made him seem like he understood the issue. So I think he's out there doing the best he can, given what he's got. But it is a really, really tough issue for Republicans. It's not the popular choice among Americans. It is a popular choice, though, among extreme Republicans, and they need to keep their base.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.